All right, guys, now I'm gonna do 3 problems on imaginary numbers, okay? Okay, our imaginary numbers. So, this is F on your study guide, -5 minus a 7i minus 7 plus an I. Okay, I have to first distribute the negative, so I'm gonna rewrite everything with the distributed negative sign. Now I have to combine like terms. So these are numbers, these have an I, so I'm gonna treat them together. And now I can just combine them. A negative and a negative, I add, I get -12. I have a -7i and then a negative I, right? So it's implied a 1. So now I have a -8i. This is in standard form, so my answer is done. Okay, let's go ahead and do J. Okay, so J has 6i minus a 4 plus a 10i. So we're going to distribute. We're going to distribute this 6 to both of them. So we have 6i times a -4 plus a 6i times a 10i. Okay, when I multiply these out, I get -24i plus 60i squared. This I squared turns into 60 times a -1, right? Because I squared is equal to -1 from our rules. So now I still bring the 24i down. So now 24i positive 60 times a -1 gives me a -60. And I need to put it in standard form, so my answer should look like -60 minus 24i, right? Standard form is your number and then your imaginary number next to it. Okay, finally, we're gonna do the box method to solve letter L, which is -8 plus a 3i times -8 minus a 5i. Okay, so remember, this is the method I like to use. It's the box method. You put a box, it's 4 spaces because you have 2 in each one. So I have -8 plus a 3i, -8, and a -5i. And I'm multiplying these in each box. So I have a -8 times a -8, and I get a 64 here. I have a -8 times a 3i, which gives me a -24i. I have a -8 times a -5i here, which gives me a positive 40i. Then I have a 3i times a -5i, which gives me -15i squared. This I squared is a -1, so -1 times a -15 gives me a positive 15. Now I can put all the numbers in my boxes into an expression. 64 plus 40i minus 24i plus the 15. I can combine like terms, 64 and 15, and then the i's together. So 64 and 15 give me 79, plus 40i minus 24i gives me a plus 16i. That's my answer because it's in standard form. Okay, the next one I'm going to go over is number 1, which is a big part of your test, which is graphing and answering the questions about an absolute value graph. Okay, so this is our absolute value. I'm going to write what everything means, right? So this is our A. It's -A. So this means 1, it's flipped. on the x-axis, right? Because it's negative. And now I have a, what's happening to that? This a is 3, right? Which means it's bigger than 1. So it's a vertical stretch. All right. Now we have, this should be our h, okay? When we're looking at our h, when we're looking at the translations, this is a +5, which means it should look like this, x minus a -5. So what's happening is there's a shift to the left. By 5. Now I have my k. And since my k is negative, I'm going down. So there's a shift down by 6. My vertex is at HK. So I have -5, -6 as my vertex. Now I can actually start drawing my graph. So I'm going to draw, okay? This is my x-axis, this is my y-axis, right? This is -1, -2, 3, 4, 5. And then I need to go down 6, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So I'm at -5, right? Shift left to -5, down to 6. This is my vertex. Okay, this is where the point of my absolute value is. And I know my graph, because it's negative, should look like this. It should be looking going down. Okay, if you're like, I don't know what to do, where am I going to put another point? You're going to plug in a point. So if I plug in, I'm going to put -4. If I do -4, xy, -4, that means I plug it in here. So I'm going to go -3 minus a 4 plus a 5 minus a 6. So I have a 1 here minus a 6. So that turns into 1. So a 1 times a -3 is a -3 minus a 6. I get a -9. So I'm going to go all the way down, 6, 7, 8, 9. So my point is at -4, -9. And this is where you actually don't have to do any more points. Your line of symmetry is at your vertex. It means that your absolute value, if I have a point here, it has to mirror it. So now I can just draw my graph and it goes like that. Now I have to answer 2 more questions, my domain and my range. So my domain is related to my x-axis. And if I look at it, this is going to go on forever on the x-axis. So it's all real numbers. Or I could also write it as -infinity, +infinity. Okay. Now, when I looking for my range, those are my y. It's like the numbers on my y-axis, which ones are being picked. Okay. This is where I like to flip over my graph. So I'm going to do that here. I'm going to flip it over. Okay. My graph starts at -6 right here. Okay. And all my points go that way. So that means my y's have to be less than or equal to -6. They all have to be smaller, right? Because they're actually smaller. -7 is smaller than -6. And I know that because I'm drawing my arrow, and my arrow actually tells me which way my absolute value sign has to pick. My greater than or less than or equal to. Okay, so I'm gonna go put it back, and I'm gonna put y is less than or equal to -6. And I'm putting equal to because it's our vertex and we need it there. So now I answered all the information about my graph. Okay, I'm also gonna do number 2 on our study guide. Number 2 is also graphing a linear equation, okay? They want to know our x-intercept and our y-intercept. And our equation is y equals 2/3 x minus 1, okay? Well, to get an x-intercept, I need to set, to get my x-intercept, I need to set a y equal to 0. So wherever my equation is, 0 is equal to 2/3 x minus 1. So then I add 1 to each side. So then I get 1 is equal to 2/3 x. So I'm going to multiply by its reciprocal to get rid of it. So I get 3/2 is equal to x. So my x-intercept is at 3/2. And now if I'm looking for my y-intercept, I make x equal to 0. When I do that, I get y 2/3 0 minus 1. This turns to 0. So y is equal to 1. Now I can actually just graph it on a graph. I'm going to draw it down here. So first point I have, I have 3/2. So I go to 3/2, which is 1.5. 1.50, and then at 0, 1. So there's my line. It's gonna go like that. Those 2 points, I can then draw the line. You can draw more points if you would like. You don't have to. You can also, once you find your y-intercept, oh, sorry, it's a -1. That's where I messed up. See, even I make mistakes, guys. We're gonna go ahead and erase it. Erase it. I forgot to bring down that -1. So this is here. I'm at -1. Okay. I was wondering, I was like, why am I not going up a hill? There we go. This is a -1. Now this is the correct graph. So even me, I did it already and I still messed it up. So go back and check your work, right? And see if you're showing your work, you can go back and check it, okay?